So what's the real difference between a user test that gives you those game-changing insights and one that's, well, a complete waste of everybody's time? It's not about luck, I can tell you that. It's all about preparation. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can prepare for user testing to make sure you get the valuable feedback you actually need.
We've all seen, or maybe even been a part of, a test that goes off the rails. You know, on the left here, you've got chaotic testing. You're missing assets. The prototype is glitching out. The feedback you're getting makes no sense. It's just a mess. But on the right, that's what we're aiming for. Insightful testing. A totally seamless experience for the user, which leads to clear reactions and productive learning for you. We all want to be on the right, and there's a way to guarantee it.
Okay, so how do we make sure we land on the side of clarity and not chaos? It's not some kind of magic trick. It's actually a pretty straightforward approach that's built on 3 essential pillars. If you can master these, you're going to transform your whole testing process from a total gamble into a reliable way to get real insights.
And here they are, the 3 pillars: the prototype, the materials, and the mindset. Simple, right? We're going to walk through each one because they really do build on each other to create that smooth, professional testing experience that gets you the best results. Let's start with the foundation.
First up, Pillar 1, the prototype. This is the star of the show, right? It's the actual thing you're putting in front of your users, so it has to be ready for its close-up. And that means you've got to finalize all those visual and functional pieces before anyone lays eyes on it.
I want you to think of this as your pre-flight checklist. Seriously. Are all your screens actually organized, or do you have a bunch of random orphaned pages floating around? Have you personally clicked through every single user flow to make sure they're all connected properly? And don't forget the nitty-gritty stuff, like checking every link, every button, and every load time. These little things can become major disruptions during the real test.
And this is exactly why that checklist is so critical. A single broken link or a missing screen can completely derail the user's focus. It yanks them right out of the experience, and suddenly, you're not testing your design anymore. You're testing their patience. And when that happens, you can just watch the quality of your insights plummet.
So, once you've got a polished prototype, we can move on to Pillar 2, the materials. Now, this isn't the design itself. This is about all the supporting documents you'll be using to run the session. Their job is to guide the user, but, and this is so important, without actually influencing their actions. So, what do I mean by materials? Well, we're talking about the scenarios you give your users. Something like, okay, imagine you're trying to book a flight for your next vacation. We're talking about the instructions you give or the specific prompts you use to get them started on a task. Basically, these materials are what set the stage for the user to interact with your design.
You see, the whole point here is balance. Your materials need to give just enough context for the user to know what to do, but not so much that you're just telling them how to do it. You want to see their natural, intuitive behavior. A prompt that says, now click the big green button in the corner is totally useless, but a prompt that says, find a way to save this article for later, now that's where you get the good stuff.
And that brings us to our final, and arguably the most important pillar of all, the mindset. This one isn't about documents or files. It's all about your own mental and emotional readiness as the person conducting the test. This is really where it all comes together.
I want you to ask yourself this question, and be honest. When a user is struggling with your design, what's your first gut instinct? Is it to jump in and defend it, to explain what they should have done? That's the defender. Or do you sit back, quietly observe, and just take notes like a scientist? That's the documenter. And you absolutely have to be the documenter.
This quote just nails it. Your job during a user test is not to be a lawyer for your design. You're more like a journalist or a detective. Your only role is to observe, document what's happening, and then analyze it later. Because trust me, the second you start defending your work, you stop learning from it.
So when you bring all 3 of these pillars together, a polished prototype, some carefully crafted materials, and an observational mindset, you make that leap. You go from the chaos of a bad test to the beautiful clarity of a great one. And that right there is the real payoff of putting in the work up front.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. User testing isn't just a box you have to check off on a to-do list. It's the engine that drives your design forward. Doing this preparation ensures that the feedback you get is meaningful, it's actionable, and it helps your prototype grow in a purposeful direction, not just a random one.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Your prototype is not on trial, and you are not its defense attorney. Think of it this way. Your prototype is quietly asking every single user a bunch of questions. Am I clear? Am I easy to use? Do I actually solve your problem? The real question is, are you prepared to shut up and really listen to their answers?